Alright guys, how you going? So what we're going to do today, I'm just going to show you in this video how we remove the shroud from the radiator. There's a few jobs that you need to do this for, so we'll take you through that process. Should be a nice quick video. Thanks guys. Alright guys, so what we're going to do first is we're going to remove this air intake, we're going to remove the air box. Alright, let's go. Alright, so to take this air inlet off, you got two bolts here, so you remove those. There's one bolt that comes out the back of the intercooler there. We're going to remove this hose off here. We're going to open up the box here, and then there's a series of screws underneath. Alright, so you got a clip in the front, two clips in the back, and then the air box comes off. Cool.
You just about due for a new filter?
Yeah. So we've got three bolts in the bottom of the air cleaner box. Once we take those out, then that's connected to this.
Oh, that should all come out.
All comes through. Yeah. All right. That was nice and easy. Alright, so I'll give you a look from this side. Alright, so we're now going to get this fan shroud out, which it looks like there's a clip up here on the side.
So that piece will come off easy.
Okay, so that's nice and easy. Just two clips either side and the positioning pin. Alright, now we need to get this fan shroud out. A couple of 10mm bolts on the top. Oh, that was too easy.
So you know how this one unclipped?
Yeah.
There's a bottom section you can unclip.
Ah, okay, cool.
Which means it should come straight up once you do that.
Alright, so as you can see, those clips there at the top. So there's another two at the bottom. Alright, so we're just going to take off this top hose just to be able to get the shroud out. So we'll push that back out of the way. It should come off nice and easy. Okay, beautiful.
The edge of your radiator is perishing. So there's a lip here that stops the hose coming off.
Yep.
It's missing all the way around to here.
Yeah, because it's plastic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an age thing.
Yeah.
All those radiators do this.
Yeah. I got the hose.
It's a big one.
Alright, so we'll just cable tie this up just to position it out of the way. Don't want to mess everywhere. Off the battery maybe.
And the second one, pull it back to here.
There you go. So it's out of the way. And then
That can stay.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. There you go. A little bit of persuasion, a little bit of wiggling. So you just need to be careful getting it past this pipe. And there's the bottom of the fan shroud.
So there's a little bit of your radiator.
So just another few things that we picked up obviously while we're here is I think this radiator, so this fitting here is basically perishing. again, the radiator itself looks fine, but based on several videos I've seen from other people in the past, that is the weak point in these bloody radiators. So in order to make sure that this doesn't perish on us in the middle of nowhere, we're going to replace it. So that'll be another video, so I'll show you how to take that out. Also, another few things that we've picked up also was that the air box looks like it had got a bit of water in it. Every time you take your air box out, make sure you give it a good clean, just to make sure. Again, only a very, very small amount, so we'll wipe that out, clean it out, and we'll blow out the air cleaner for the moment, and then we'll probably get the new one, just to be safe. They're pretty cheap, you don't have to get genuine. And then also we've noticed on the top of the radiator there's this foam seal which is just perished all the way through. Apologies, you can't see it that well, but yeah, so we're going to have to suss out whether or not there is a replacement. I'll check out Parts OQ in Dubai and see whether or not there are some options there. I'm sure there will be, but we'll get that sussed out. We'll order that probably when we do the radiator. Other things also is the turbo intercooler hoses. Just so you're aware, with the turbo intercooler hoses, which is basically this one here, that one below it, and that big one there, they are prone to going. These are all the original hoses I've had since day one. Whether or not it's worthwhile replacing them, we'll see, or even keep a spare set. Just so you're aware, the Unicorn Performance, where I got the intercooler from, they do a set of intercooler hoses as well. I said I'd basically check out what the condition was like, and they're all looking actually pretty good, but I might be worthwhile keeping a spare set. Obviously they're in Australia, they were only a couple $100 for the set. These ones here though are braided, so the turbo hose on the other side has a braided protective shield on it, so that'll just obviously slide over the new one. But the ones on this side, these are, looks like they're integrated into the hose. All right, so they're the things we've picked up. So we'll clean up the airbox now, and then we'll finish up this video here. All right guys, so we'll now assemble, basically put all the airbox together and all the hoses, and then we'll move on to the next job. All right, other things, so we're doing a bit of maintenance items. These are the bottom grommets at the bottom of the airbox. Make sure these are intact and in good condition. Also, when you're cleaning out this area, block this off. We don't want any dust going into the engine. They're just a couple of little obvious things. Check your hoses, make sure nothing's perished, cracks and so forth. Another few things that we've noticed, we've checked all the fan shroud and all the clips, and now they're all perfect. We've just given it a bit of a clean up. The airbox itself all looks pretty good. The only things that we've noticed with the airbox, so there's some vibration foam underneath the intake on the airbox. That's all perished, so we're going to replace that, as well as on this side. You can see that's all perished. So we've got some stuff here which we'll try and clean that up and replace that with also. So we're just using this draft stopping tape. We use this actually to seal around the rear door a little bit. So it's sort of soft enough but firm enough. So we'll get that cleaned up and pop some of this on and see how we go. We've obviously cleaned out the inside of the airbox, so she's looking good, and the air filter. And yeah. All right guys, so we're going to pop the fan shroud back in now. So the two pieces that go around the actual fan, we've kept them off, and we're just going to drop the shroud in first. The only thing you need to be really mindful of is the top pipe coming out of the radiator. That impede things a little bit, but otherwise she's pretty straightforward. So there's a couple of locator pins at the bottom of the shroud. Make sure that they're locked in. And then basically there's obviously a couple of bolts at the top. All right, so now we're going to put in the bottom piece of the fan shroud. So both bottom and top pieces look to be identical. The way they come out is the way they go back in. It's just a couple of little clips. obviously hard to show, but yep. All right, so we'll pop the top piece in. This one you'll be able to see it a bit easier. So there's a locator pin at the very top in the middle, just like there is in the bottom. It just pops to the one side in first. Yep. So there you go, guys. So you just need to make sure that that little pin there, again, it's only plastic, just locks in place.
Must have been just that one side. This side's in.
And then obviously just make sure it's all flush. We'll pop the bolts in place next, and then obviously we'll just double check to make sure that the fan spins freely. Yep, perfect. And there is a little bit of play in the radiator. All right, guys, another thing to be mindful of, this radiator has a little bit of play in it. This rubber obviously has worn over a bit of a period of time. And again, you want play a little bit, but maybe it's a little bit too much. But ultimately, you want to try and replace this little grommet or seal, whatever it is. If you can, if not, might require a whole new bracket. So, anyway. Alright guys, so just some more preventative maintenance stuff. So as I showed you before, this used to have a pad of foam here for vibration. Now you can see there's actually a mark here where it's almost worn through. Just so you're aware what that is, this is actually the top of the shroud. So it's been vibrating along that line here, and it's almost worn right through the air intake. So what we're going to do is we'll put a nice big piece along here, because that's obviously bouncing on here as well, and then we'll put an additional piece on that line just to protect it a bit. Cool, drop it down. As you can see here, we've replaced the foam that had perished along there. So basically with that, that's obviously, goes into that section there. So there'll be no vibration on the bonnet there, and that's why the rubbers end accordingly. And yeah, cool. All these little bits add up as far as saving dollars in the future. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've replaced that entire section. So again, just 3 pieces. We'll see how it holds up under vibration. I'm using this under my GME antenna mount, which seems to be working really well with corrugations. If you want to know how to do a GME antenna. And alright, so this is where I've mounted my GME antenna. Again, there's a full video on the wiring of the CB, and then also another video on the Z mount. Perfect location, absolutely love it. Never used to like it being on the front bull bar. So we removed it, and again, the ARB bar's got the mounts there, but when you're videoing out the front, it gets in the way, and it's protected really well there. All right, let's keep going. So don't forget to put the top radiator hose back on, get the clamp in place, nice tight fit, and like I said, we'll do another video later on to basically replace that radiator. All right, so we'll drop the air box back in now, get that all sort of hooked up. We've repaired all the perished items on it, gave it a little clean out, cleaned out the air filter. Yeah, otherwise she's all looking good. Just tighten up these bonnets, and again, these mounts are plastic, so be careful with it. Don't go too crazy. All right, airbox next. To point out with this airbox, when you pull it apart, be super careful. Yeah, so some Mitsubishi technician decided and didn't bother to tell me, they broke the clip on this airbox. God knows when that happened, so I can't point it to one particular dealership. Unfortunately, I've been across a couple of Mitsubishi dealers for servicing. So, but a quick, easy solution, because these boxes are quite expensive to replace, was this clip. So we're obviously, with this airbox, anything below the top seal of the air filter is not reliant on vacuum, whereas anything above the air filter is. So it's very important that this air box gets sealed and goes on properly, or else it will affect things. So yeah, but this is a quick, easy solution. These were used for actually clamping laminate benches together. So yeah, so that's what it is. Show it to your Bunnings guy. Keep one spare actually for when you're out in the bush and if you bloody break it. Because these things, yeah, I don't think it's a great design, to be truthful. Other things to be mindful of, obviously here there's a little drain hole. Make sure that's not blocked. So we'll pop those 3 bolts in place. Just look loosely at the moment. Beautiful. Alright guys, so just pop the air filter in, pop the top on. There's 4 clamps on all the way around this side. Obviously be very mindful of these clips here when putting it in. And then I've got that little extra, you know, modified clip for extra performance, which clips around the back here, which again works really well, seals it nicely. Other things while you're here, obviously we'll put this clamp back on. This is the MAF sensor. Also, whilst you got the airbox off, buy some MAF sensor cleaner. Again, it's just a couple of screws on the top, just take them out and it pops out and gives your MAF sensor a bit of a clean. It's just a little spray can. I just did that not long ago. And then that completes the airbox component. So just a bit of a quick checklist before we head off. So airbox has all been put together, all the clamps all the way, the airbox are all been put back on. So the clamp's been put back onto the manifold hose, so we think it is. The MAF sensor, if you took it out, make sure you've screwed that back in and given it a good clean. And make sure when you do clean the MAF sensor, you make sure you let it dry properly, okay? So the main inlet to the air filter is all put back. We've put all the new foam underneath here. We've put all the new foam here. Also with these screws, there was a bit of wear happening on these, so we've put an extra washer in just to help secure that so it doesn't wear through with vibration. We've put the top hose on the radiator. Obviously the shroud's been put back and all the little duvlackies have all sort of locked in place. We've checked the engine bay for no tools and there's nothing left around. Alright guys, so that completes the installation and removal of the shroud and a few little bonus extra tips. Hope you found that informative. Give us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys.